There we go. And I am thrilled to turn it over to Colleen Lewis and Shantel Ottenbreit to lead us through.
Thanks so much. We appreciate you guys having us this morning. I'm going to let Colleen screen share because we do have a bit of a PowerPoint, and then we'll do our introductions. There we go. Colleen, do you want to start by introducing yourself?
Sure. Colleen Lewis. I live in Medicine Hat, and I'm working part-time with the Alberta Elder Abuse Awareness Council. And I've been in this field since 2015, helping communities build their coordinated community responses.
Great, thanks so much. I'm Shantel Ottenbreit, and my day job is I work with the City of Medicine Hat as a community resource worker. And then I also volunteer with the Alberta Elder Abuse Awareness Council as their chair. And I've been involved in the area of working with those older adults who are dealing with elder abuse for about 15 years now, and have been the chair of the Alberta Elder Abuse Awareness Council for the last 7. So this year, the Alberta Elder Abuse Awareness Council is turning 20. So it's our 20th year of being an organization, 20 years of what we call growing the conversation about elder abuse and other topic areas that are related, such as ageism, looking at different ways that we can bring awareness to what is going on for older adults and how we can really make them part of that family violence umbrella, just a whole bunch of different pieces. So we're going to share with you today a little bit about the work that we do, as well as a new resource that we have just launched that we hope you'll find helpful in the work that you're doing in your communities, with families, and in particular with older adults. So Colleen, if you want to go to the next slide for me there. So as mentioned, we did form in 2002, and really since that time, we've kind of done some changing, and we've grown and developed in new areas. We started off as a group of service providers who came together saying, hey, we're noticing that there is this trend going on in our community where we're seeing older adults being abused. Is anyone else seeing that? It started kind of being more recognized on a global scale as well. There was some development happening across Canada with the Canadian Network for Prevention of Elder Abuse. And so in Alberta, there was a network formed for service providers to be able to kind of share what was going on in their communities, share resources, and discuss kind of best practices. Since that time, we've really formalized and we've grown into an actual nonprofit society that we've applied for our
charitable status.
Thank you. The words escape me sometimes. Our charitable status. And we have got membership now. We've got a board of directors. We still don't have any staff except when we have project funding. So Colleen is currently one of our project staff, as well as we have one other project staff, Joanne Blinko, who is located out of Lethbridge, and she's helping with our case management project as well. We've developed a logo. We've got several different resources, and we focus largely as well on some of our learning events and training. So that's kind of some of the work that we've been doing. Our key role really that we find in working in this area is not to do frontline service provision, but to be more of that information, a referral source, providing education and training for service providers, as well as doing some resource development. So our goal, because we're a provincial network, is more in supporting service providers and communities to be able to gain access to information, to the training that they might need. How do we help with development of different resources that are easy to use with your clients, and then be able to kind of assist people to have access to resources who can actually assist with preventing and ending and addressing elder abuse. So that's kind of a role. Our vision for the council is Alberta's older adults are valued and live free from abuse. And our mission is that we're a council of Albertans dedicated to increasing awareness and supporting community responses to abuse. We do a whole bunch of different work. Maybe I'll get you to go to the next slide, Colleen, just so that we can kind of keep moving through. We do a whole bunch of different work. We kind of have been developing in different areas. So one of the areas that we've been working in right now has been in conjunction with the Alberta government, in particular the Ministry of Seniors and Housing. They've been working on a new definition for elder abuse, as well as there's been a Canadian definition being presented and kind of being worked on as well. So we're behind the scenes working on some of those pieces. We're also involved in a national strategy for a different program that we'll talk about as well. There's a whole bunch of different pieces that we kind of are involved in touching in. And really the overall goal is that we're working towards addressing and ending elder abuse. So when we talk about elder abuse, we talk about it as any action or inaction by a person or persons in a trusting relationship that causes harm and distress to an older adult. So some of the key pieces in this would be that it can be action or inaction. So what that means is that even neglect, that inaction piece by someone else, can be considered elder abuse. But what we do also consider important is that it's within that trusting relationship. So this isn't those frauds and scams. This isn't somebody who you didn't know and showed up at your door one day and you hired to, to roof your house and they didn't show up and took your money. Those are unfortunate things and often are targeting older adults in particular. However, when we're talking about elder abuse, we talk about it within that trusting relationship. And the reason that we do that is it changes the dynamic, because it's this understanding that they should be able to trust somebody who's in that relationship. So that sometimes is caregivers, it can be children, grandchildren, a spouse or partner, really anybody that you should be able to have that trust in and that you have a relationship with. And it's that misuse of the trust and that manipulation of it that is really the abuse piece of things. So elder abuse could take several forms. Often we see that there is more than one type of abuse occurring at the same time. And so nationally and provincially, the statistics do indicate that the two most identified types of, and reported as well, types of elder abuse are financial and psychological or emotional. So sometimes psychological is broken out slightly different than emotional, but often they are kind of lumped together. Other types of elder abuse include physical, sexual, neglect, and medication. And those are the ones that are recognized by the Alberta Elder Abuse Awareness Council. There are some a little bit of variety, I suppose, around the rights of a person, human rights, as well as spirituality, as far as different types of abuse that are sometimes recognized in other provinces or across Canada and throughout the world. But for Alberta's definition at this moment, this is what the council goes by. So hopefully that gives you some context for the work that we're doing and the pieces that fall within this. What falls outside of our realm as far as pieces that we kind of work closely with would be those pieces of abuse that are happening in publicly funded facilities. And typically those tend to be some of our housing facilities that have publicly funded dollars, so dollars from the province, to be able to have assisted or funded beds and long-term care as well as hospital. And the reason for that is because that falls under a provincial arm called the Protection for Persons in Care Act. And they have their own act that outlines reporting measures, duty to report. They have an investigative process, as well as they can outline consequences for incidents that are happening. So typically that piece falls outside of our jurisdiction or our area that we're working within. Although sometimes we have some connection points with housing facilities or with families that are dealing with issues, or if it's kind of a gray area of that legislation, we sometimes will assist and work with the Protection for Persons in Care Act to make sure that there is support available. You can go to the next slide for me, Colleen. Thanks. Some of the key pieces of work that we've been focused on has really been around training. So we've been hosting several Taking Action Against Elder Abuse training courses. We have one-day workshops for that. In particular, this is a great training for service providers. We also have a 2-day Train the Trainer if people are interested in becoming trainers in their own areas. And it gives an overview of kind of I call it an Elder Abuse 101. It's kind of a general understanding of what elder abuse is, who experiences it, looking at some of those foundational pieces around what rights we believe people have, how we operate within those, how we support those, looking at the dynamics and the complexities of elder abuse, understanding some of those vulnerabilities and those risk factors. And we look at the 4R model for response, which is recognizing, responding, referring, and reconnecting. And we work through each of those 4 different areas to actually give some practical hands-on tips of how to actually move through and work with an individual who might be experiencing elder abuse through these different 4R areas. We also provide training through the It's Not Right Neighbors, Friends, and Families for Older Adults program. This is a national program that's been developed out of Western University, and it's been shared with us, and the council has decided to take it on as a coordinator for the province, and it's bystander training. This is great training for anybody of any age. kind of youth and up is what we suggest, but it's really bystander training. So it's saying we recognize that everybody has an opportunity and a role to play in our communities in addressing and ending elder abuse. And so it's very practical about how you have a conversation, what you can be looking for, kind of checking in with your gut. And there's some really practical, easy ways to be able to support a person who you might suspect is experiencing elder abuse. And knowing that you don't have to be the one to solve everything, but you can be the person who kind of supports them and knows how to be able to assist them to getting to resources and support that they might need. These can range from a 1-hour presentation all the way to kind of a 1-day train the trainer. And if you're interested in that, you can feel free to look up the It's Not Right website, or we do also, I think, have some information on our website, as well as there is a national strategy that's going forward using this bystander training as the basis and looking at moving the issue of elder abuse forward and looking at sustainable funding and sustainable support that's more national and that is more standardized across Canada. Additional to these two pieces, we also do a lot of work with the Core Alberta Elder Abuse Awareness or Elder Abuse Group, sorry. We are part of, both Colleen and I are part of the steering committee on that one. And I know there's several others of you who are on the call today that are also part of that group. And that group is very active in providing training opportunities and presentation opportunities to learn more about topics that are related to elder abuse. So as part of that group, we've had ones on restorative justice and on legislation, powers of attorney and personal directives, a lot of different areas that kind of have a connection to elder abuse, but that are just really great information for anybody who's interested. There is some resources on there as well as some recordings. So if you're interested and you're not already part of Core Alberta, I would suggest that you go and sign up. It's free to join. There's several groups and the one that we're part of is Elder Abuse Group, but there is lots of other really great information on there. And it's just a great resource. So if you're interested, we would suggest that you also check that one out. And we're also kind of connected as well through the Collective Impact Project that Say Jess is spearheading around family violence and sexual violence. We are also part of some research that's going on and advocating around legislation. And so we try to stay connected and engaged in all sorts of opportunities that are really going to improve the lives of older adults in our province and assist and support service providers who are working in those areas. I think you can go to the next slide, Colleen, if you want. We are also hosting this month, you can go back one, sorry. We're hosting this month a training by Morag on strangulation identification. This is the second time we're actually hosting this as the council. It's been hosted from other organizations in the province, but we are hosting it online. It's via Zoom and the cost is $30. The strangulation identification training is good if you're working with older adults, but it's also applicable across the lifespan. So it is not actually specific to elder abuse. It's actually strangulation identification training for any age. So if you're interested in that, you can check out our website to get more information and to register for that. We also are partnering with Diverse Voices for this year to have a pre-conference date at their Diverse Voices conference in November. So if you're interested, be watching for that. We'll be coming out with some more information and a list of our presentations coming up in the late summer, early fall, I think. And I think that's it for me. I'm going to turn it over to Colleen to share a bit more about our new resource that we've just launched and our website. So thanks, Colleen.
Absolutely. Thank you, Shantel. So this is what I had first connected with Melissa that I wanted to share with everyone, and then it just kind of grew. So I am very appreciative of this opportunity to share everything with you. So we have created, it was a year in the making, a new resource for older adults. And I will take you to the website so that I can show you a few more things about what it does. So it was written for older adults. It's easy to read in simple language that we hope people will be able to take good advantage of. So you see our website here. There's a ton of information. It's always growing. On the top, home, about us, what is elder abuse, getting help. So all the community information, World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, June 15th. Training and education, if you want to know what's going on, this is where to check. And then resources. So if you go to resources, and right there at the top is the staying safe, click on that, and you have a digital version. This is in the flip book mode, and it is also coming out in audio. We are starting with English, and you are able to download this. You can print sections of it. It's very comprehensive. I think it's 76 pages. So you may not wish to print it all out, and you can go through the book. We start with acknowledgement, a little bit about it, and then the table of contents. So hopefully this makes it easy for you to find information so that you can kind of target in what you're looking for. We are in the process of printing copies, and we have some grant funding for this. So we will print copies. And if you wish one, you are able to email me and I will put your name on the list. I need your mailing address as well. Stories are included. Older adults really relate to the stories about elder abuse. Sometimes you don't experience, when you're in the situation, you may not experience or understand what's happening to you, but when you read it in a story, it may just make it clearer for you. And knowing that other people as well are experiencing these things is empowering. So getting ready to leave would be the second section here. Information on how to keep yourself safe if you're online. We've made it colorful. Hopefully it is appealing to the eye. Elder abuse is a tough subject, so we try and make this appealing. More stories, lots of resources, and this resource itself is housed on the Alberta Elder Abuse Council's website and will be updated. The resource links change amazingly fast. In the year that we were creating this, pretty much all of them changed, I do believe, but the financial supports are very important for older adults, especially when they're heading out on their own. So we've included that information. There's a safety checklist, a safety plan. Trying to simplify some of the legality piece to make it understandable. And also what's available, because if you're not in this situation, you may not know. So this is a great resource for older adults, but we also recognize that it's an excellent resource for service providers. More resources, can flip through all those resources. There's lots, and there's the safety plan. So we've made that so that an older adult can cut that out and keep it with them. So that could be one of the pages that maybe you'd like to print and have more of so that you could hand out to older adults. And a checklist. And that's that's our safety plan, and that's our resource book. So again, you can email me for a printed copy. There's only 500 for all of Alberta, so we are limited, but first come, first serve. And I think that's probably the end of the PowerPoint as well. Maybe one more slide.
Did you want to share it again?
Sure.
Okay.
Just go all the way down to the bottom. We'll go all the way down to the bottom. Oh, come on. So this is just summarizing what we have already said. A Future printings will be based on need and financial sponsorship. So we'll wait and see how this resource is accepted and how many people are wanting more copies of it. I know we have a Facebook group and we launched it on Facebook as well. And some of our seniors were saying, you need to send this to every older adult. And yes, that would be wonderful, but financially it's not practical. So we are targeting organizations that provide services to seniors. That's where we're starting. We invite you to become a member. Membership is free on our website, and with our 20th anniversary, we have a special membership drive, and there'll be more information coming out on that. We do have a free newsletter. Again, you can sign up on the website. It's called the Council Connector. It comes out once a month, thereabouts, and past issues are available on the website as well. Follow us on social media accounts and help spread our message. Tag us when you have something that you would like to share. Further, our Facebook is Alberta Elder Abuse, and the Instagram, Alberta Elder Abuse with the underscores. Just a note, we are in need of a bookkeeper. The council is all volunteers, and the bookkeeper is specialized. So we are looking for that. If you happen to know of someone who would like to help us out, that would be great. And to keep in mind that the council, every year they have their AGM and positions become available to serve. And if that is something you are interested in, definitely reach out to Shantel and find out more information. And that's it for me. Shantel, do you have anything?
I think just a couple of the things that maybe we didn't touch on that kind of as you were speaking there, Colleen, I thought of was we also for June 15th, World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, typically put out a toolkit. So if your community is looking at wanting to celebrate that, you can always watch for our toolkit. We try to make it as user-friendly as possible and as easy for communities to be able to download. And it comes with ideas about how you might want to celebrate, some key messaging, some social media posts that you can just kind of copy and paste and make your own for your community. We really try to support the work that's already being done so that you're not having to take a bunch of time and reinvent the wheel and do all of that. The other piece that we've been working very closely on has been our case management piece. So we received funding from the government of Alberta to be able to support 16 communities across the province with case managers to be able to do frontline elder abuse case management. And so we're just working, we're kind of new into that. We've been into it not even quite a year here. And so we found that it was really important that it's great that the work that we're doing is raising awareness and providing education, but if you raise awareness and somebody says, yeah, I'm experiencing that, but then you have no resources in your community, what do you do, right? And it seems like there's this expectation that we always continue to do more off the side of our desk. And so our ask of government was, we need some dollars to actually be able to provide this. And if we do this well, can we show you that this is valuable and that it's needed and required? So this is part of our pilot with this. We don't know where it will end up going, but we're hopeful. And so far, those 16 communities have been doing really well. And I think the feedback has been really great. It's also been an opportunity for those communities with coordinated community responses, which we call CCRs, to be able to come together and to connect and share resources and kind of share their experiences and what they're seeing in communities. And it also it provides us an opportunity as well to be able to collect some better data. What we were finding is it's really hard to get some numbers and some concrete information about what people are seeing in their communities when everybody's kind of doing it under different umbrellas. So some people were addressing elder abuse as part of their women's shelter or part of their VA program, or sometimes even in community through different community agencies. And it's hard to collect and pull out the older adult specific ones when we have it under those. So this allows us to kind of collect some concrete data around specifically older adults experiencing elder abuse and putting some information to that we can then share back to the province, and hopefully that will strengthen the case for the need. And as I said, we're looking at different ways to be able to research and make connections and links to family violence and what that looks like across the lifespan, because what we've been hearing in particular from our immigration societies is that there's a lot of times where older adults or grandparents are in the home with kids and their children, and there's family violence maybe across the continuum. But before, when we have a focus of just dealing with either the adults who are involved in the family violence or the children, we often overlooked the older adults that were also there. And what we're learning is that what the way that the older adults are treated is what the children are seeing. And so it perpetuates these beliefs and these ways of interacting with older adults. And when we learn that at an early age that it's okay to treat older adults with less respect, we're going to continue to see that. So looking at ways that we can actually engage with younger children to hopefully build empathy and understanding and turn the tide as to how we actually interact with our older adults in our society and treat with more value and dignity and respect, so that hopefully it will make a difference in the long run. But those are just some of the pieces that we're working on. As you can tell, both Colleen and I are very passionate about this area, and I'm sure we could talk for a very long time on this. But at this point, we're going to stop presenting, and we'd like to turn it over to you if there's any questions. I did see a question in the chat box earlier about the slides. Yes, we can absolutely make the presentation material available, and Melissa did mention that as well in the chat. And then she also did let you know that it is being recorded, so it can be shared through, I think she said you guys have a YouTube channel that it'll be on. Perfect. So absolutely, you're welcome to access any of the resources. And if you need something else or you're looking for something more specific, feel free to reach out to Colleen or myself, and we'd be happy to connect you with that as well. So anybody have any questions for us?
I have a question, Shantel and Colleen. Maybe it was shared right at the beginning and I maybe didn't write it down, but this is Jeffrey Dowling from Cypress County. I should have identified myself. Sorry. Just your contact information, whether it's email. I guess I did see the AEAAC 2020@gmail.com, but just yeah, if you could just share your email contact information, that'd be great.
Sure.
Mine's in the chat.
Chat. Okay. I was like, I'll put mine in there too then.
We do have a presentation on Core Alberta tomorrow, and it is Seniors Protection Partnership and Elder Abuse. We have 90 people registered already. So registration is on Core Alberta. If you are interested, that is with Sarah Ramsey and Detective Alf Ma from Edmonton.
Hi, I'm just wondering if that presentation tomorrow will be recorded. I do have something else. No, okay.
No, they won't record or share slides.
Okay. And just to thank you for putting that together. I'm looking forward to getting a copy of the Stay Safe. It's nice to have like one document that has so much information in it, and I'm looking forward to using that. So thank you.
Great, thanks. What we were finding is that, you know, I think as service providers, we try to get the information that the clients need, but we're going to all these different websites or resource places or referring them to all these places. So it is nice to have one kind of document that hopefully will walk a person through and might even twig some things of that maybe we weren't thinking of, right? So as you're going through, oh yeah, I haven't thought about, okay, what do I need to do to make sure that my pets stay safe or that I have a plan for my pets? So there is some extra information in there that hopefully will also help prompt a person. We recognize that not everybody is digital, so we're trying to do some print copies. We also recognize that not everybody is literate, so that is where the audiobook has come in, and we're hoping in the future that we'll be able to get some grant dollars to look at other languages as well as translation of the hard copy material so that there's some other digital versions. That's just kind of a phase 2 for us. So the first piece is just rolling it out now. And then as we kind of move forward and are able to secure some grant dollars, we're hoping to be able to translate it as well. So hopefully it makes it more usable for more service providers as well.
Are there any other questions for Colleen and Shantel? Okay, not seeing any. So I'll just wrap up then. Thank you so much, Colleen and Shantel. This was really important information to share. So I'm so thrilled that you were able to share with everyone. As was mentioned, we will share the recording, we will share the slides, And in the email that we send out to the membership, we'll also share your email addresses again so that people can connect. And thank you all for being with us this morning, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Bye for
everybody.
now.
Take care.